Oh, we got someone from San Francisco. Suwash is here. All right, guys. So, welcome. Of course, right after we start recording, we got a deluge of new people. Hey, guys, welcome to the another virtual meetup of the Florida Game Developer Association. We're the official Unity3D and Magic Leap user group for all of South Florida, all areas south of Orlando. And I see we have a lot of great guests that we've met over time in San Francisco and LA and other cities. So you guys have been really good about sharing the link. And then we have a special guest today. We have a lot of special guests today, but our main speaker is Veronica Flint, and you see her on the screen right now. And she's a really close friend of Florida Game Developer Association. And in fact, when I got started in Unity, she was my mentor and Game Jam hackathon partner, and we had a lot of success. So, Veronica, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Veronica. I'm a VR/AR content creator. My background is also in development and animation, technical art, video games, virtual reality, so motion capture. Yeah, also worked a lot in virtual production. So my dream is to like merge interactivity and gaming and entertainment and film all together, kind of maybe like the metaverse sort of thing going on. So yeah, I also so I developed my own content. I made a VR cinematic piece that probably checked out called Chimerica Era, and it was a 12-minute long VR experience that premiered at a couple of festivals and virtual reality conventions. Yeah, so I've been developing a couple of original IPs the past couple of years. So.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys can tell how humble she is, but you know, over the last few years, she's really blown up in the industry in a good way. Like people are surprised that I even know her, right? You know, so
Really?
yeah. So it's like a lot of even people in the blockchain community, they all got stories about you in blockchain now. It's pretty interesting about how, you know, whatever. We'll go into that offline maybe. But yeah, so just go down the line. We'll introduce everyone who's on the call. Andrew,
Veronica, what he's saying is most people don't think he's cool enough to know you.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. It's I think when we got started out, you know, I was cool enough, but like she's basically really focused and really made a name for herself in the industry. And we'll go into her background shortly. So Andrew, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure thing. I was I was sharing the post. My name's Andrew Fratarcangeli. I am the last iteration of community organizer for Florida game developers and Miami game meetups. I live in Virginia now, so I mostly work in the background and help out where I can. Other than that, I support indie devs. I've worked with marketing from Tiger Direct with NVIDIA, AMD, game distributions, that kind of stuff, which is where I kind of got into it for indies because there wasn't much of a scene in South Florida compared to where we are now. So this is really awesome to see that it's still thriving. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here. I'm really happy that we're starting to do the virtual meetup. So it's big thanks to Prav.
Yeah, well, the technology is available now. This wouldn't have been possible, earlier. So we'll just go down the list. I don't know everyone here. Angel Gross.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, this will be my third meeting, second virtual. Just doing some learning of Unity development, mostly involved in IT storage.
Okay, great. Thanks, man. Welcome back. And then the person that's named Hellhounder is actually Thompson, the event organizer. So Thompson, you want to unmute yourself and just introduce?
Oh yes, definitely. Just your generic game artist. If you do need some help with for your game, you know who to call. Also, I run the Discord meetup with Praveen as well.
Yeah, so why don't you put a link for an invite link in the chat, Thompson, if people want to join the Discord. We're pretty active on Discord. A little bit
Come
active
on.
on Facebook, but Discord people post a lot, and there's different channels if you need help with Unity or art questions. And when we do the community gaming game development, we actually do Discord weekly meetups. Like every Tuesday, we do a voice chat in Discord, and we make a game together by voice chat. So Thompson ran our last community game last fall, and he's going to do a presentation on that later tonight. And then Joe. Joe, are you there?
Sorry, I
Yeah,
had
go
both
ahead.
my mutes on.
No worries.
Okay, so this is my very first meeting. I'm a software developer in South Florida and aspiring to be an indie developer. Unfortunately, content is not my forte. I've been learning Unity kind of in bite-sized pieces since about 2016, I eventually wanted to do something in VR, but I'm still just trying to get all of the basics put together where I can do a complete project. So I'm here to learn.
Great. And then Kat.
All right. Can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
All right. Perfect.
Loud and clear.
Trick. No?
Yeah.
Johnson, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, good trick. Todd posted the Command D for unmuting the microphone. That's a really good note. So I am very new to gaming. Always been my passion. So I'm just on the first kind of iteration of building using the blueprints that I can find online and using these meetups, of course, in Unity. The C# is my next priority kind of to learn. But by craft, I'm leading the product efforts at a company called Avengers. We're building software for the HVAC contractors. And there is a lot of exposure also to VR, augmented reality, spatial computing in the industry. It's super important for us to get into that area. But I'm definitely passionate about games mostly, kind of my personal passion. So hoping to learn as much as possible during these meetups. Thank you.
Do you want to talk about the Maker Faire?
Yeah, the Maker Faire. The CTO of Watsco Ventures, who I work with directly, he is the organizer. His name is Mario Cruz, and he's the organizer of Maker Faire. He lives in Miami already 2 years. He's the president of the initiative, and he was really excited to offer a free space for the community. So unfortunately, that event didn't happen, but I'm sure he'll be super happy to, whenever things get back to normal, to have a tent for the community to present whatever projects there are.
Great. Yeah, so we'll go further into things that are happening in the area later on after the presentation, Veronica's presentation. So Paul, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. My name is Paul Goldstein. This is Lance.
Paul, there's kind of an echo on your end. I don't know. But...
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just using a VR app to be able to virtually see you guys.
Okay.
I'm just doing an experimentation.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just going to introduce myself quickly, not to waste your time. My name is Paul Brownstein. I'm the founder of XR Miami, and I'm here supporting the community, and we've created an association to bring emergent applications from blockchain to XR to the forefront. And today we're actually trying a 3D app called Spaces to watch you guys do your thing, and it's an honor to be here. And again, it's really cool to be here.
Yeah, so after Veronica and after I moved back to Miami from LA, like Paul became my new Veronica. So like Veronica and I used to do everything else together in LA that's like kind of a gaming, techie, VR related, and Paul is that now. So we even went to CES together in Vegas in January, Paul and I. All right, yeah, great. Yeah, so a lot of the big conferences we do at University of Miami with Magic Leap, the day-long conferences we do in partnership with XR Miami, Paul's organization. All right, great. Raphael?
Yep, thank you very much.
Go ahead, if you introduce yourself again, Raphael.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rafael Reyes. I mentioned before that I worked for Verizon for about 13 years. I'm mainly a network IT guy for most of my career. I only got programming experience from college, and now that with virtualization, that it's gonna become more of a hybrid industry. The networking along with virtual machines and uh, the virtual machines hypervisors like OpenStack and VMware. Uh, there's a lot of automation happening, and the go-to programming language is Python. So I'm hoping to do small projects first on Python, small video games, and then moving on to more complex stuff.
Yeah, that's great. So Raphael volunteered to lead our community game effort to learn Python together by making a game. So we're going to introduce that later tonight, a new Python treasure hunt game we're going to make together as a community. And Raphael is going to lead that initiative because they say you teach what you most want to learn. Just like last fall when no one knew Unity or Photoshop or anything, we all learned it together. I mean, it wasn't me, but like the community, the rest of the people who wanted to learn Unity from scratch. They went from 0 to hero with no knowledge of Unity to winning second place in a statewide game developer competition. So they took it seriously, met every Tuesday on voice chat. So Raphael is going to do that for Python now. So we'll all learn, whoever wants to can learn Python together by making a treasure hunt game. So we'll go into that later today. So Rod?
Hey, it's Rod Ellison. I'm a software engineer and cloud architect, and until just recently with American Express for many years, I was able to basically introduce Unity and AR, VR to them and use it within their learning space. So I've got a little bit of Unity experience. I'm actually finishing my Unity certification in the next week or so, and kind of diving more into ECS and dots now, because I think it's really some awesome technology and how it deals with performance and things. So I think this is my 3rd or 4th meetup, and I'm of course very interested in using this technology, this platform to meet people that are interested in building games and interactive experiences and things like that.
Yeah, great. Yeah, welcome back, man. So American Express has been really helpful. A lot of people who come from there, not just this meetup, we have other meetups. They've presented and also helped our members get jobs. In fact, a few of our members have gotten jobs directly just from meeting people at the meetup, this meetup actually. So it's been pretty good to have indie game devs who actually have full-time jobs and are able to hire other people. They might not be hiring you to be a game developer, but they like you and they're willing to mentor you once you get in the door. Yeah, so welcome back, Rod. So Suash, man, the legend, welcome.
Thank you, Praveen. Hey guys, my name is Suyash. I'm dialing in all the way from San Francisco, and I'm very excited to be here. I am also part of a art and tech, we call it creative coding community here in the Bay Area, and very excited to see Veronica's work and hear more about it and hang out with you guys today.
Yeah, he's one of the most interesting people you'll ever meet. So definitely. So he's actually a musician, trained musician. He went to musician school. I didn't even know there was such a thing. But then,
yeah. I have a magic instructor in Vegas, so it's kind of my hobby. I do a lot of magic.
Yeah, all my friends are too humble. They always leave out the interesting parts. So yeah, he's the one. He and I live in San Francisco, so he and I were did a lot of really cool things together up there. And then Todd.
Hey guys, for those who haven't met me before, I'm Todd Albert, software developer / professor, starting a code school, actually launching our apprenticeship program in 10 days. And what I'm trying to do right now, rather than focus more on the teaching side, is trying to get as many projects as I can from companies so I can hire as many developers as I can right now, just to get everybody jobs. So I'm actually speaking with somebody on Monday to do some Unity and Unreal work. So after that conversation, maybe jobs available for those of you who are looking. So, keep me posted if you wanna get in touch. Todd at Boca Code, or you can jump on our Slack channel. If you go to bocacode.com, go down to the bottom, join our Slack, and I'm trying to post jobs. It's one of the things, really trying to make sure everybody's, in the community's taken care of right now.
Yeah, it's a really
Oh,
good.
definitely, don't mind.
Yeah, it's a really good point. There are other people who are looking to hire right now, maybe not full time, but for make individual things in Unity or Unreal. Like in fact, like we are as well, like our startup. So yeah, having a job board would be pretty good. Thanks, man. And then XR Miami, is that you again, Paul? I think.
Yeah, that's me as well.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I just logged in twice. All right, man. I guess we'll start now. So, Veronica, you can have the floor. I'm gonna, if everyone just mute yourself, but you can definitely interrupt. Veronica's pretty informal, but just when you're not wanting to ask a question, just keep yourself on mute. But feel free to talk if you need to. We're a pretty informal, friendly group here. Go ahead, Veronica.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, so I'll share my screen soon. But basically my presentation will just, it'll be pretty short. It's just going to talk about the process of making this virtual reality experience, cinematic mirror experience, all real time built in Unity. So I'm going to go ahead and share a video first. Is that now? Share your entire screen. Okay, cool. All right, cool. I think you can see. So yeah, I'm gonna play this video. It's gonna show what the basically the team in the process and some in-game footage. This was 2 years ago, so yeah. I'm gonna play it. Oh, it's playing on the other screen. Here we go. Cool. All right.
You have to share your screen. We can hear it, but we can't.
Oh.
Yeah, look on the bottom. I think there's a link on the bottom.
Okay.
I'm seeing it just fine.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, maybe I'll look on my end then. That's fine.
Okay. Cool. Do you guys see it? Cool.
Very simple fantasy type story.
Delicate scene.
Basically takes place in the middle of an action sequence. And these bad guys, gang members, trying to retrieve this device.
People on this project are performance capture actors, voiceover actors, 3D artists, our sound team, producers, our media coordinators. Like, it's our goal to make sure that we are not seeing that you are having a good time, that you're experiencing this from a perspective that is just immersive.
I would say the best part in any career is when you get to the point to where you're doing something great and it's so much fun, and by the time you finish that day, you go, we did work. We actually get stuff done. So the experience was such a collaborative and collective view of so many different ideas that it just made the entire experience hard to walk away from. Being able to work with people that you love to work with and that are really great always makes the on-set experience that much more fun.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, so that video was made during the Infinity Film Festival. I'm trying to get to the. Yeah, so I have a slideshow. Hold on a second. Let me just exit. Okay.
Hey V, I'm gonna post in the link here our Spock dance party. you want to show that at some point in your presentation. I don't want to take you off your game, but it's you have it when
Sure.
whenever you need it.
Cool. Yeah, can you guys see anything? Okay, cool. So yeah, basically, I started this project 2 years ago, back in June 2017, with me and my friend TK. TK, who's a performance capture actor, had a background in acting and some voice acting, but this was his first time being more hands-on in a full interactive VR project. I had already had a background in that, so we collaborated together and planned out. Originally, it was just going to be a video game cinematic, and then I wanted to just see if we can experiment with it being in VR instead, or both. So yeah, for like maybe about a month and a half, we would meet on the weekends and talk about, because I already had an environment already built that I was working a few months, 4 or 5 months back, on my spare time, just building out, a city in Unity. I'll talk about that before. But yeah, so basically, I had like a gray box with temporary assets of just this world, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Maybe I was either going to make it into a VR game, first-person game, maybe like an escape room, or just like a plain experience. Wasn't sure. But I always had this story and world in my head for a long time. And then when we had the opportunity to sit down and think about a side project, I talked about what I already had in mind. So yeah, so we basically met up on the weekends, talked through what we're going to be shooting, because we were going to be using motion capture. So yeah, so I wrote like a script, 10 minutes, and we planned out some motion capture shoots. So this screenshot is in Unity, but this was just a show after we shot mocap, working with our environment artist Trisha, of what the layout of what this hover bike chase sequence is going to look like. So before the entire thing would be written out. Yeah, and then I wrote a script. It was about 10 pages, and we broke that in these different scenes together when we were. It's kind of like shooting. It's basically like shooting a film. So we had Jarrell, who's our stunt coordinator, fight and choreographer, and TK, who also helped organize, produced it. And we would have they would organize the rehearsals, because this was an action sequence in this act 1 of 3 acts of a 12-minute experience. So this is a raw video of what it looks like with our stunt actors. A lot of our actors were from the MoCap Bolts, which was a motion capture school for emerging actors or actors who wanted to get into video game or any kind of performance capture. So yeah, we had this. My idea was that there was going to be hover bikes going through a street. It was a chase sequence. And also TK also helped out with what certain different parts of the story should happen. But yeah, that's Hunter, TK, Tyler, and Jarrell helping out with the props. Yeah, so yeah. I don't know if I showed the whole thing. But yeah, so we used the motion capture technologies we used was Perception Neuron, which is developed by a company called Noidum. Noidum is also based in Miami. If you guys want to go talk to them, they can talk about what suits.
Yeah, definitely. They're in North Wynwood, and I'm gonna post in the chat here an event we did with them. We did a motion capture. We're using ballerinas. They made these ballerinas at Adrian Arch Center into giant snails, using Unreal Engine. So I'll post that in the chat right now.
Yeah. So Axis Neuron suits. These suits are different from your regular motion capture with balls, because they have gyroscopes or magnets that can detect the rotation and the position. So instead of balls, you can use these suits outside or any environment rather than having to go to a stage. So movie studios or game companies would pretty much use these for just pre-visualization. But basically the standard for high quality performance capture is with the ones with the markers. So for this scene, we actually used both for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actors. So yeah, it's pretty ambitious, but we had a mocap stage, so we were able to just, and the mocap stage was only able to do 3 optical actors at a time. So we, yeah, I had some suits. Ari, who's our mocap supervisor, Noidum uses our Fonco stage in Los Angeles. Noidum uses that as their showcase / LA office suite. So yeah. But yeah, basically we all came together because we worked on projects together before, or we've known each other through the mocap votes, Richard Gordon. So yeah, and then basically from the mocap data, I would use software like Motion Builder.
How many suits did you have?
When we were shooting, we had a total of 3 at a time, and then an additional 3 for the OptiTrack suits. Yeah, so the OptiTrack system is kind of like similar to what they do using Avatar, the Lion King, actually, and Jungle Book. So yeah, so yeah, we had 5 or 6 per take per scene. So yeah. And then this is what our shot list would look like. We would have different takes.
So can you explain some of these the terms OptiTrack? Maybe just go into like a little bit of what all this stuff is, because I think like it might be common in LA because you're in the so many film people around and stuff. In Miami, it's not as common to understand motion capture and filmmaking.
So, yeah.
Or even filmmaking for video games,
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone has done The Void or Dreamscape or any of the location-based VR projects. They use OptiTrack. Basically, Vicon and OptiTrack is the usual motion capture system where you have a bunch of cameras, infrared cameras, and a volume, and you would put markers on either a human being, bipedal, or quadrupeds, or you can put the markers on props. You can put the markers on virtual cameras, and these are able to indicate you're capturing different movements and motions based on like how the markers are structured or aligned or placed within whatever you're trying to capture. Yeah, marker based is basically OptiTrack, and then inertia is XNs or inertia motion capture versus optical inertia. You don't have to be in a motion capture stage. You can do motion capture anywhere. You can do it in your bedroom. You can do it in your garage or outdoors or while you're hiking, and you can still capture. Versus OptiTrack, you have to have a volume indoors, a stage, whatever you have to rig up the cameras. So basically external tracking. Oh yeah, how about okay? So you guys are VR people. OptiTrack is kind of like you need external cameras, but with VR you have inside-out tracking, which you don't need cameras. So using perception neuron is kind of like inside-out tracking. Yeah. So without any external cameras. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll share some videos as soon as Veronica's done. We'll do some. We've done some of that here in Miami with Match Leap's done stuff. So I'll show you some demos right after this.
Yeah. This is just some Maya animation stuff that I did with the characters, but this is very animation theme previs terms that's happening in this screenshot. But yeah, this is after retargeting the raw skeletal motion capture data, of kind of like virtual footage, but with its own metadata for characters. And I would take that animation and from Maya or Motion Builder, well, Maya, because that's Maya is where I would combine both performance and facial capture for the characters. And then once all the animation is cleaned up, I put it in the game engine. And so at the time, 2 years ago, we were using Unity 2018. We were using Timeline, which is it's kind of like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere Pro, but in Unity, where you can keyframe or edit or program or trigger whatever it is that you want within a sequence.
Yeah, so people use these game engines to actually make films, just like Veronica's teaching you right now. But there's special special terms functionality in Unity. One City Machine, the other is Timeline. And we did do one meetup last year at FIU about filmmaking for Unity. We did a joint meetup with Unreal Florida. So one person did something how to do it in Unreal, and we did how to do it in Unity. So we can repeat that. But maybe if you can explain some of these terms here in the bullet points, V, as well.
Yeah, so Timeline, if anyone uses Unreal, it's like Sequencer. It's basically Sequencer, or any other editing software, linear editing, where it plays the time from certain time frame range, and you have clips, and you have different layers, and they're categorized from like either a game object or audio files, music, or you have a script and there's like a public function you want to like do. This happens kind of like the animation window, if you guys ever use the animation window in Unity. So it's it's basically the same thing, but a lot just more intuitive and easier and to understand. And then post-processing stack is if you've ever opened up Unreal and you go, oh wow, that looks great, because you see all the bloom and the aliasing is there. That's because Unreal's post-processing is already automatically checked on. In Unity, well, now in Unity, if you start a new project, you can pick which template you want to start out with. So they have the high definition rendering pipeline or the lightweight pipeline, or you just start a 3D template, which with a 3D template, it doesn't come with post-processing. So when you drop in your 3D assets, you go, oh, this doesn't look good. It's because post-processing is not on. And post-processing is basically where you can have things like color grading or color correction. You have things like ambient occlusion, anti-aliasing, bloom, the intensity of, it's basically how you control yeah, it's basically color grading, but with more realistic options. Like if you have a directional light and you want to get that bloom, you have that, or sun flares. It's all that stuff that that just basically makes your game window look good. But yeah, it's very helpful, especially if you want to go for like realistic lighting or just good old quality, nice looking graphics. And then the pre-integrated skin shader, that's basically what there's is basically a subsurface scattering shader used if you want to get that skin look, how light bounces off the skin or how the skin reacts to the light. You'd want to get it's called subsurface scattering shader. So we use that for characters. And then Substance Source is a library of textures and materials that are from the substance, well, basically from algorithmic substance. And so I use that me and a few other people just use that for some of the game objects or the 3D models. Yeah, gametextures.com, same thing, library of textures. And then for post-production or audio mixing, we did it in the game engine rather than how they do it in in movies. Because in the game engine, if you drop in an audio source and you spatialize it, you can already your video game camera already knows where the audio sounds are going to be rendering at. So rendering your left ear or right ear, depending on what direction you are looking at or where you are in the 3D space. Yeah.
So that's interesting so I mean, since you're an expert in both Unreal and Unity, like the video I just put in the chat about the perception neuron with the ballerinas, they use Unreal for that. And then you're using Unity with perception neuron, but what you're doing in Unity is really a lot more advanced. You had like three motion capture and then a lot of other more advanced stuff too. But why did you pick Unity over Unreal?
Because it's faster and easier. It's just more compatible with like doing stuff like character animations, motion capture. This is the same reason why a lot of productions 2 years ago were using Unity, because it's just cross-platform friendly, peripheral friendly, using different types of hardware. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like when I asked the same question to the people who did the ballerina, there actually directly were perception neuron like Neuten employees, and basically we also did some event things with them with like projection mapping and other things too. And I realized it's because they're artists and they didn't they didn't want to learn the programming aspect. So with Unreal, they're just doing the blueprints, right? Connecting nodes. So that was their reason for using Unreal instead of Unity.
Yeah. Although there wasn't any programming in this project, but yeah, the blueprint system is pretty good. But yeah, I think it's just it was just more confidence and just because we had to just get the project out there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So can you show us then, like, if there's no programming involved, can you just show us then how you do like a basic timeline or state of machine thing without the programming? Like maybe when you're done with your presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have Unity open right now on my computer, but let's see. Have you ever done any video editing before? Has anyone done any video editing? Well, it's basically similar to doing that.
Okay.
You have a cursor. You can scrub through a video, and
Yeah, no worries. You can just show whatever you want to show, but generally, we like to be a little bit hands-on beyond the PowerPoint. So if you can show something at the end of your presentation.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, that's basically it. I can show what the final thing looked like.
Oh yeah, let's watch this. This is awesome.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go. Oh, there's no music. Hold on. Let me put on audio. Ah, shit. Sorry. I'm trying to turn on the audio. Ah, shit. Turn it up. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to turn on the audio. When did this? Okay. I don't know how to turn on the audio. It's not letting me. But yeah, this is what it looked like. Gosh, how do I turn on this audio? Oh. Oops, sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to turn on the audio on this, but I can't. So you're just gonna have to watch it without it.
So is this a Cinemachine are you using to control your cameras?
The camera is a virtual reality camera.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like you're watching a movie, you're in the movie sort of thing.
So when you actually are experiencing this, you actually have a VR headset on, so you feel like you yourself are the camera as you're like watching this unfold. I mean, it's not interactive, but you're in the movie and you can look all around the movie. It's like you're in a Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, basically. I'm gonna try and move this up a little bit. We wanna show this with sound. There we go.
How did you find me? You were trying to. It's working now.
That's loud.
I'm driving right now. I'm a little occupied myself. You gave up on us.
I'll try to lose them. Yeah, there the sound. Yeah, and yeah, so that was yeah, using all within Unity's tool sets for no scripting or programming. Maybe a couple or a few here and there as far as like loading to the next scene or whatever, but Yeah, it's basically if you already know how to use Maya, or you've done animation in Maya, or done video editing in either Final Cut or Adobe Premiere, just combining those three elements together.
So I remember when I played this in the courtyard of the Getty Museum up on the hill in LA. It was a really long. Like I didn't even get through the whole thing. I think I was in it for like 20 minutes, and I still didn't finish the end. So how long is the actual piece?
12 minutes, but
Well, I think it kept cutting out, so you kept restarting it for me.
I did. Oh.
Yeah, something happened either way.
Yeah, it really depends, because everybody has their own different way of experiencing it. Because some people are looking at buildings and airships or whatever, while there's a story happening over here. And so if you're just looking at the environment, you're gonna be like the entire time, or splitting the difference. It can be confusing as far as like what's going on. I'm just moving around in space. But
Cool.
it's kind of like yeah, I mean, if you're gonna hand a video game controller to someone and it's a racing game and they just keep crashing into the walls, they're gonna say, "This game, I don't get this game." So it's like it depends on who the audience is. Who's, if it's for them, they're not gonna know how to play Animal Crossing or Monster Hunter. But people who are like, "Oh yeah, I've done this before. This reminds me of this." They already get it. They're focusing on what they need to focus on within the story.
Yes, definitely enter this into the Miami Sci-Fi Film Festival next year. We had part one virtual 2 weeks ago. We have part two next weekend. But yeah, we have an AR VR track. Yeah, so it's really cool. I know one of your slides you had about how you wrote your script, and I know on your Facebook you also had a lot of information back in the day about how you worked with voice actors in Unity. So can you go into your script writing process to write a script for something that's animated in a video game style, and also how you cast and work with voice actors to make to sync the voices with all the action going on?
Yeah. Well, so am I presenting? Yeah. So basically, I used Final Draft, I believe, or actually at the time, it's basically Final Draft, but I was using Adobe Story. But yeah, it's literally the same thing. Final Draft is the standard for writing anything, video games. Oh, I guess I can show you this, but this is more gamey. Um, yeah, I guess it's more appropriate because you guys are doing video games. This is a project from last year. It's not that secret, so it's fine. But yeah, let's say I'm doing an Unreal scene and I want to set up the story. This is what a script would look like. But luckily, this script is good if you want to know how to write video games.
So let's do this. Let's do a little scene. Like, why don't you pick two actors and you can direct us? Like two people will act out a scene as voice actors.
Wait, casting or just directing?
You can direct it and then just cast two of us. Who wants to volunteer? Just unmute yourself if you want to be in this little scene, and Veronica will direct you. So this is like what you would do if you're a voice actor in a video game, basically.
Yeah.
So let's see who's going to unmute themselves. Who's brave? I'm sure people will figure out how to unmute yourselves.
Yeah, acting is definitely not something that anybody can do. It's why we got actors. Oh, someone asked. There was a question. Should I?
Yeah. There's questions. You can go over those. Yeah, Sue Wash has a question, and then a lot of people have comments. Yeah. So I'll read it out loud because people on the recording won't be able to see the questions. So Sue Wash asks, "How much time did this take to make? With how many people involved?" And really cool.
So it took a year and a half max. Yeah. More like a year in production because I don't count like ideas and concepts, but I think the moment it was about almost a year to a year and a half, because we started in August, or we shot the thing in August, September-ish. For 4 days, it was like because everybody had their own schedules, and we got actors from. We had actors who did the voices, and then actors who did the stunts for those characters. So That's a good thing about doing mocap, or movies too. Is you can like, especially with stunts or anything with fight, you can have someone do that. But what's good with doing VR or CGI or animation is it's the artists who are creating the characters, or so you can be flexible and do different interchangeable asset changes. So I can take a take from an audio track of an actor from this day and use and then combine that with performance capture from another day. So yeah, the process is it's kind of similar. So in computer animation, you can change the camera during post production, or change the camera moves, or change the framing of the shot. Versus like live action, everything is locked in once you shoot it.
Yeah, so Andrew comments like VR movies are going to have so much replayability. So I think that's kind of what you said. People, can experience it different ways, different times they watch. Like watch the buildings, watch the blimps, and keep doing it over and over.
Yeah. So VR is really cool. It's why we did it in VR. Made a movie in VR just to like see what it would like and feel like an experiment, and what would be the future, what's to come next.
So Rod's asking, is it possible to download or experience your VR movie? And I think you can put your website down, because I know if your children want to enter into film festivals, you aren't allowed to make it publicly available.
Right. So okay, so I'm gonna basically last year I was developing a phase 2 version of Chimerica Era, and it was like, I don't want to say too much about that, but I've been talking to a publisher. So, but I've been also developing other IPs too. But if you actually wanted to try out the experience, if you have an Oculus Rift, I can add anyone to the Oculus Beta channel or Alpha channel, and we'll go from there. It may or may not be optimized depending on your computer specs, but I think a 1080 a GTX GeForce 1080 would be like the minimum for it to at least run a recommended experience. Yeah. So yeah, it's 12 minutes long.
What about some of the standalone heads like the Quest and stuff?
Working on putting that together.
Okay, cool. And then Suash has a question. Is any particular reason for using Unity? Is it because this is a VR experience?
That's a good question. It's mostly because we've the pipeline of making characters from scratch, not from scratch, but from like the pipeline of like using a character creator in Maya, and then like making sure the animations or rigs are targeted correctly and rigged correctly in Unity. With Unreal, there's always been some sort of issues with that. Like a character has to be rigged a certain way, and we're using motion capture and motion builder. And I believe the developer who developed that software also helped work on the animation side, or Unity's animation system. And while Unreal animation system is kind of, at least at the time, I don't know what it's like now. I think it's better now, slightly better now. But Unreal's, if you have like a character skeleton, like you have the man, it's just like 10 times more work. And we had to, and yeah, we decided Unity from the beginning, and we basically had a pipeline already that already works for Unity versus Unreal. But I am working on another project right now. I'm going to do that in Unreal. But Unity actually has slightly better cinematic tools because of Cinemachine and Timeline.
Right. And then Joe asks, it looks like the viewer's POV changes in certain scenes. Were there any techniques used to reduce motion sickness?
Yes. Yeah, we did. In the beginning, when we were first testing it, it made well, even before it was ready to be even slightly tested, We've had people on the team that got sick, and so we've had play tests, other VR developers to come check it out as well as we're working on it, and we've had a couple that gave us suggestions about what to do. And so we had a lot of parts where you're turning on let's say like you're at a corner of a street that's about to make a right or left turn. Instead of like moving the camera as a sharp turn, we just curved it, and so the player can focus on the character that's in front of them as they're turning around, and their body is moving at the same time, so that also negate all the motion sickness. Pretty much 90% of people who tried it didn't get sick during that sequence, while the other 10% were like,
Yeah, it's a really good point, Joe. It's like even when we do the AR VR track of the Miami Sci-Fi Film Festival, that's one of the scoring categories is how the camera work is done so that people don't get sick. So V, I see on your screen you have a Magic Leap logo. Are you a Magic Leap developer as well?
Yeah, I have a Magic Leap.
Oh wow, what have you made?
What did I make? I made only a few things. I was planning on doing I was planning on doing a new AR experience that I'm working on on the Magic Leap, but I decided to maybe I could show you guys that if you want. But
yeah, I mean, we're the world's only Magic Leap user group, so no other. In fact, and now that Magic Leap is not really doing consumer anymore, we're probably the only people who are actually going to be looking at this stuff.
Well, not a lot of people are really interested in Magic Leap, so I switched platforms from Magic Leap to just like AR Kit or AR Core. Because
yeah, but when we do there is a Magic Leap seminar April 30th next week with Dan Miller, the XR evangelist for Unity. He did an event with us before, and he's going to be doing a talk on AR Foundation, so build once Unity for AR Kit for Magic Leap for everything. So that's, if you guys are interested, that's a free seminar on April 30th with Unity and Magic Leap. I'll post the links, and we'll have to make sure it's not canceled now, the layoffs at Magic Leap.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can you see a few? Oh, there I am. Yeah, I have a Magic Leap, but it's collecting dust. I need to check out what's on the store. Is there any recommendations to check out? I mean, I feel like I've checked out everything on the Magic Leap. It's been like more than a few months now.
Yeah, Thompson, why don't you introduce, talk about what the community project is, the Detective in Hiding we're going to be doing for Magic Leap for June release. Maybe Veronica would like to be involved in that project.
Oh yes, definitely. Let me just get all slides out. Well, a second.
All right. So while he's getting ready, I'm gonna show some videos of different things from explaining some of the things that Veronica was talking about. So just you got maybe 5 minutes, Thompson. I'll just share some videos on things that we've done here in Miami on Unity and motion capture. So I'm going to present now. This is a little bit, there it is. It's a good, one of the things is all these video tools, you have to test them out the night before. So I recognize the little bugs even in this Google tool. So I'm clicking around. I know how to do workarounds. All right.
Oh, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, do you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this is one of the things that I'll go over the different techniques for motion capture in Unity. This one is super high-end OptiTrack, and this is what Magic Leap did with Shaquille O'Neal, where they did a 3D scan of Shaquille O'Neal. This isn't all Magic Leap. This is some of the stuff that we also did otherwise in Los Angeles. I'm mixing and matching to just show the concept, because obviously Magic Leap wasn't going to show us all their internal stuff. So I kind of like pseudo guessed what they're doing. It did have Shaquille O'Neal basically motion captured. So maybe you can explain some of these things here, V.
Yeah,
like,
so
with all these cameras and.
Yeah, so that's actually not motion capture. That's actually called volumetric capture. So that's why they're in a green screen. But it's not like they're digital or CG characters. It's like literal. It's like no, I think those are infrared cameras. But yeah, volumetric capture is a little bit more limited because you can only be in a certain small. You don't really have much room to move that much in a small volume like that. So which is why a lot of volumetric demos you see, it's like people like either play dribbling basketball or just like standing and talking or slightly moving around. But yeah, Microsoft also has one of these MetaStage. But a lot of people like volumetric capture because it's not. I mean, I don't really know. I did motion capture.
So this was a little bit of a thought experiment, basically.
Yeah.
You know, we just mixed and matched, you know, what we saw publicly from Magic Leap or they accidentally shared, and then we're trying to figure out how we can use our own tools. So this is our thought experiment. So this video is not from Magic Leap. This is our video about how we imagined. In fact, in reality, as what we imagine is a lot more advanced than what Magic actually wound up doing. So this is our imagined video of Shaq.
Mm. So you have this running on the Magic Leap, and it's just him. What is this?
This is like the capture, like our version of what a capture would look like.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely motion capture.
You see, but there's even like trackers on the basketball.
Yeah.
So you see on this side here. You see on this side here, like this is just the skeletal tracking. And then this is the actual, the pre-scan, the models that are pre-done. So we imagine them like, you know, yeah, we can do a volumetric capture of Shaq, but then we can have Shaq moving around, you know, on a basketball court and in your living room, which is what Magic Leap said they were going to do, but they never actually showed it. But
yeah, in this case, you could, if you did like a 4D or not 4D, a 3D CG scan of Shaq. In either of T-Pulse high-res scans, you could have someone else puppeteer or perform as Shaq in motion capture suits. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, so the volumetric's kind of similar, just like doing 3D scanning, except it's taking all those scans every frame per second of video.
So the problem with this isn't really indie style. It's too expensive. But this is indie style here. So this is the Perception Neuron. This is actually a Miami-based startup in North Wynwood. I mean, it's actually a Chinese company, but the U.S. headquarters are in Arizona and South Florida. So this is what we did with them. I have to refresh this here. All right, I put this video in the chat already as well, but it's a VR video, so I mean you can move around. Basically, what they did was they put these ballerinas in the Perception Neuron. I'm gonna turn the volume down a sec so I can talk over it. So basically, he's wearing the same Perception Neuron suits that that Veronica used 3 of those with. In this case, the ballerina has only used 1. Well, at least the demo they just showed 1. So he's a product manager in Miami for this system. So he's demonstrating. We didn't actually have ballerinas at the demo. This is actually guys in Venture Cafe at UM where we do all of our game jams with XR Miami too. But so why don't you, can you explain, V, how this is working, what all this blinking stuff is and all these, they're using Unreal Engine plugin right now.
Yeah, so this is an updated, newer version of Perception Neuron. So this is a little bit better than the ones we used 2 years ago. I think I don't remember how much it costs, but it's a little bit more expensive now. But yeah, this is
whatever it is, it's definitely affordable on an indie budget. So
yeah,
compared to the other things you saw with Shaq, yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So this perception neuron suit tracks a little bit better. I think it works better in magnetic or heavy magnetic or metal situations. And sometimes when you wear these suits and you're not in a proper location, that can cause some issues such as drifting or just a bunch of sort of errors.
Yeah. And then look, there's like sensors on his feet, his knees, his wrists. So
Yeah, so that's what basically all those sensors you would need to capture human characters, and basically you can probably walk down the aisle or like walk outside the room to another hallway, and it would probably still capture, which is pretty flexible. It's pretty portable as far as like, and flexible as far as like a location you would want to like demonstrate a live demo or like a live capture of like capturing an avatar or puppeteering an avatar.
yes, that's what he did. He's doing now. It's kind of washed out, but basically you can see the T pose right later on in the video. Wherever he moves his arm, there's a mathematical function, like he's kind of doing a little bit now, mathematical function where like he's trying to be a ballerina, I guess. But they turned his puppeteering. He's actually puppeteering a giant winged snail, and then in Unreal Engine blueprints, they give the snail like six wings per arm. So each arm is controlling like 3 wings, but they do an offset. So the arms aren't moving synchronicity. They're off by like some pi number of seconds or something. So it seems like organic, like it really is flapping. So with all without programming, it's blueprints. I mean, it's programming, but without like having the right C++ code. So that was pretty interesting. So the guys, if you guys want to watch that video, we posted it in the chat already as well. And then the last one, saving the best for last, of course. So this is probably one of the most famous videos that Veronica and I have done together. In fact, Veronica, like this is actually a world famous video in unexpected ways in the blockchain community of all things. Yeah, so there's a new blockchain accelerator in San Francisco called Cello, and some of your friends like the blockchain community, the people you've worked with, and the ones trying to get you into crypto for a long time, you always refuse them. Like they're actually in the accelerator, just graduated, and we got invited as well because they found this video on DevPost, and I don't know why they thought this would be a good reason to get us into a crypto accelerator, but they watched this video and like, yeah, you got to join our crypto accelerator, and it just ended like a couple weeks ago. But anyways, here it is. Some of you guys have probably already seen it. So this is the world's first mixed, like Microsoft wearables mixed reality hackathon in LA, and Veronica and I won 2 HoloLenses. It's a long story about what happened after that, but supposedly we won 2 HoloLenses.
I never got my HoloLens.
Yeah, either did I. So
this is late 2015.
Sure. Yeah, guys, I used to have like long hair and a man bun and a huge beard like that. This is our Star Trek Adventures warehouse. We created an interactive immersive social experience for Star Trek. So, started out trying to do not that social. You actually have an experience. Then you bring them. So we're going to demonstrate a few scenes and elements coming to you. So let's start. This is the spot dance party. So basically, you and 3 friends can start dancing together socially. You don't have friends, but Mr. Spock can be your friend. So, and you can actually record your best dance moves. Record.
Oh yeah, you were in that Connect version 2.
So then we created like a interactive space battle. Control the Starship Enterprise using the Connect to bring unified system. So we had time to basically create the controls and
I might as well just say how we did this. We basically grabbed like pre-canned assets from like some free 3D model website for this hackathon and the Star Trek models, and then like just dropped it into Unity and retargeted the Connect version 2 plugin that was off the Unity asset store, and then just swapped out and customized from there. But what's cool is that I can give that avatar, that character, commands from voice recognition, which is cool. And Praveen looks at the camera. Oh, I told it to jump. I don't remember what happened to this project. If it's on, I think it's on GitHub, or I think I have it backed up somewhere. It's around here somewhere. Yeah. Okay. This was a 24-hour hackathon, right? I don't remember. It was a weekend.
So that thing was I didn't want to talk during the voiceover. Let me how to on. All right, so you guys, that was I'm gonna stop sharing as well. So that was interesting because that same location is actually where Magic Leap did their first and ever only Leap Days or something, their actual developer conference. That was that same building, the Mart. And the day we did ours, like there was this Deepak Chopra's daughter was doing an event in the basement, which is also where Magic Leap did a lot of their events too. So we got to meet a lot of people from the different communities, and that's the great thing about this type of thing was there was a lot of cross connect where people got to see our hack who weren't there for tech, they were there to meditate, right? But they saw how this VR and other things can be used for their field. So gives lots of opportunities. And in fact, since then we did do some apps for Deepak Chopra, but it wouldn't have happened if for us wasn't spending 24 hours out of sleep, just hanging out, Veronica and I at a hackathon. So Thompson, are you ready? Oh, actually, there's chat people. Let's see, people are asking. You guys can unmute yourself as well. I mean, it's basically we're a pretty informal group, but yeah. So basically, Rod says this. Yes, I'm very. All right, there's a lot of chats here. Why don't you guys just unmute yourself because I can't go through. We're behind on some of these chats.
Hey, I have a question. Great projects, by the way, really inspirational stuff. Veronica, Praveen, anyone, how would you go about tracking an object, an external object, let's say a ball, and it's moving fast, and on an indie budget? Like, what kind of solution comes to mind?
Is this for your magic tricks?
Yes, it is. It could be used for a magic trick, or even for my juggling performance. So think of like, if somebody's juggling props, I would love to track them.
For what platform?
Any platform.
Oh, okay.
You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, if do you want to like hide what technology as you're doing the magic trick? Because like, there's like things like the Vive tracker.
Yeah, see the Vive tracker. One, it needs the surrounding like setup, right? To be, this would be, think of somebody on stage performing or doing something, and then you could project what you grab the data, and you could animate or add special effects on the screen behind. Kind of like think of dance movement and stage. But you know.
Right. Huh. Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing for like capturing props would probably be like the expensive route for doing something on stage. Because if you might or you may have to use something that's using external infrared cameras for that. So that might be a little bit more costly. But on an indie level, either a controller that either like a Vive or a Vive tracker would probably.
Yeah, Joe, can you unmute yourself? He just talked about he used Vive trackers to do motion capture with Glycon.
Yes. Yeah, I bought Glycon. I want to say it was probably a year, maybe 2 ago. I saw this fellow posted in Reddit, and he actually takes requests, which is kind of interesting. But what I was interested in using it for was for doing, really inexpensive motion capture for little cutscenes. And what he does is he uses the Vive controllers and the Vive trackers, where you can put them like on your waist or your knees. And I think he supports a lot more now. But at the time I was using it, he was using inverse kinematics on the model in his app and using just the Vive tracking system. But he would also put props. So you could, watch yourself and go over and, put your hands kind of on the props and replace those with other models later. So I kind of wonder if doing something like juggling, if he was to do something like give some of these things physics, if somebody could virtual juggle.
Virtual juggle is interesting. When you say virtual juggle, it sounds like he's not holding a physical object, but he's like looking at himself in a screen with like a 3D game object of a juggling object with physics, and they're using a controller to like move it around. It could probably work.
Yeah, I think back in, I want to say it was like late 2016, I was on an alt space, and there was a fellow who was in one of the, it looked like a tavern, but he was in there and he was juggling these mugs, and I thought it was kind of interesting, and it looked pretty good too. It was very convincing.
Yeah, and you also had a question about Room Alive.
Oh no, it kind of looked like with the projector and the Kinect. It reminded me of Microsoft Research's Room Alive, which was many years ago. I want to say it was around 2015. Could have been earlier. And I think a lot of the technology from the Kinect is what ended up in the HoloLens, just on a smaller scale.
Yeah, so actually the founders, I'm going to share the screen right now and show you a demo of Room Alive. So Room Alive became Lightform, a startup in San Francisco. So the research interns who created Room Alive did their own startup called Lightform. So it's interactive projection mapping, and we're their semi-official user group here in South Florida. They gave us a free. We actually visited them in San Francisco, and they gave us a free device, and we used it for a lot of Bitcoin art, crypto art. So that's pretty cool. And there's a Room Alive 2 out now. I mean, there's a Lightform 2 out now, which we don't have. But yeah, basically it's interactive projection mapping. So let me show you a demo. And we have a new guest too, another one of Veronica's friends. But America, why don't you introduce yourself? And then we were just talking about you, how you're trying to get Veronica into crypto earlier. It didn't work out. And we just showed the Spock dance party that she and I did. Yeah, America's the one that actually just graduated from that accelerator in San Francisco. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna, America, once you unmute yourself, you can say hi. But I'm gonna share my screen to show the Room Alive demo. And if you guys are interested, since we're their user group, we'll do a talk with them, have them live stream in from San Francisco. It's a good thing about being in Miami, like Veronica. It's like I'm everyone's only Miami friend. So anytime anyone's doing anything in Miami, like we get the call because we're the only one anyone knows lives here. So this is from Microsoft Research. This is a little bit old, but this actually became a product that we're their user group for now.
I've never heard of this. I've seen this. Oh, USB.
Yeah, well, the
oh, that's cool. I've never seen this. Oh, that. Oh, I thought I knew him. No. Oh, that's cool. Projection mapping.
Pixels that can be used for With Room Alive, users can touch, shoot, and dodge augmented
I'm
content.
surprised like theme parks haven't adopted this, like Disneyland or something.
Our system consists of multiple projector units or programs for sure.
This is more advanced. The consumer version is just one projector.
That's cool.
Used individually or combined through a scalable distributed framework to cover an entire room. The ProCam units are and can self-localize within the room as long as their views have some overlap. The auto calibration requires no expertise or calibration fiducials, so the ProCams can easily be installed by end users.
Yeah, everything that's done here is this is all done in Unity as well. They have a Unity plugin for all this.
Automatically creates a unified model by combining the depth maps from each ProCam unit. In addition to the 3D model, our system automatically extracts the
Oh, you'll have to point me to the plugin.
vertical and horizontal surfaces and the floor plane. We expose this information together with the 3D model and the ProCam controls to plug into a Unity game engine. This enables game designers to author rich, immersive gaming experiences. To show how Room Alive can transform your living room, we have created 4 interactive experiences. Room Alive supports procedurally texturing the living room, transforming the room into a new environment. Here, the living room can be transformed into a holodeck, an indoor factory, or can show a river running through the floor with dynamically generated raindrops. Virtual critters can also be procedurally generated to appear around the living room. The Whack-A-Mole experience shows a virtual animated mole appearing around the living room. To play through the experience, users can move around the living room, touching the virtual moles to gain points. In addition, users can also shoot the moles with a gun controller. Users can also control a virtual character that performs non-physically realistic interactions in the living room. With a standard game controller, virtual characters
Oh, this reminds me of Cast AR.
robots
Until they shut down.
chase the virtual character. Lastly, as a user walks around the living room, darts emanate from the walls that the user must avoid. When the user is hit, visual elements are shown to indicate
They just went from tabletop games to I'm gonna destroy my room.
examples of what is possible with Room Alive. In summary, Room Alive enables
Yeah, this is pretty common in these AR games. It's always like a robot coming out of the wall.
Yeah, it's the same motive. So the interesting thing about this is, yeah, you're right. The same experiences are reformed multiple times. So it's a good way for us to figure out, like, you know, the differences in hardware and developer experiences. We're making the same thing over and over again. So like I think Rod has getting the Tilt 5 device. I got one as well coming. I get to update the address on Backer Kit. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we should invite the CEO on. She worked at Joe. She worked at Steam. Steam before taking over there. Took their AR patents and created the Tilt 5 like AR headset device, but super cheap, like $200 something.
Oh, nice.
Hey, so
the date for that? I mean, is that July or August when those kits come out?
I don't know. I got the emails I've been ignoring for Backer Kit, but they want more money now for the shipping charges. So I'm like,
I think they're gonna wait until this ships to stores, because wasn't there another Kickstarter product that got shut down? Well, I think everybody got refunded for that, so that's fine.
Yeah. So Suash has a question. What are your guys' thoughts on consumer level MR XR now that we don't have Magic Leap or even Microsoft focusing too much on consumers? I think there's still Unreal, there's Tilt 5, but Suash, why don't you unmute yourself? You can ask your question directly or update it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of on Twitter. If you read a lot of people's, especially this guy Robert Scobelizer, I forget his last name. He talks about
Yeah,
was
he follows us on Twitter as well. But
right.
Yeah.
So he's a big proponent of these technologies, and he was betting big on Magic Leap, and I guess Magic Leap, it's not going away. It will come back, but it's for the time being. What do
So
you?
if you
How many
guys,
years
so
away do you
just
think it is?
so if you guys know who Rob Scobelizer, you might not know his name, but you might know his meme.
Oh, that's Scobble, Robert Scobble.
Yeah, he's the guy that if you guys like ever see like someone wearing like the Google Glass in a shower, like that's him.
The creepy guy.
Yeah, I don't want to comment, but like you might not know his name, but you know the meme, like know your meme hashtag right there. And yeah, he hasn't really been that friendly to Magic Leap either. I mean, he's talked about Magic Leap, not always in a positive way. But whatever. I don't want to comment. Everyone has free speech, man. But what was your question, Suash, about that?
Yeah. Like, see the price price and the ergonomics, right? Those two things I think need to be improved for everybody or a lot more people to afford this. What are your guess or your thoughts? Because we put so much effort and you build the experience, right? But it goes to only a handful of people. So consumer level XR, like, is it?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think Veronica was talking about this earlier about how she ported and started releasing something for Magic Leap. She just did it for ARKit, but
yeah, if you trying to tell a game publisher like I want to try this on Magic Leap, they'll probably laugh in your face because there's no market for that. Like nobody owns one. Weren't they like expecting like 100,000 and they only sold like 5,000? So it's like disappointing.
But what about like the concept of just developing with AR Foundation Unity and then letting people and just releasing it everywhere, having one code base, or is that just theory? Does it actually work?
Well, that's the good thing about that's why I use Unity for XR because of AR Foundation, or now the XR Interaction Toolkit, because it's cross-platform, so you can like add whatever platform or SDK as long as the SDKs are installed on your machine. And just build it for Android, iOS, Magic Leap, Windows Mixed Reality, or HoloLens. So
cool. Yeah. So America, are you there? All right. Whenever you get around to it.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm here.
Yeah, I think your video's not on right now. It was on earlier.
It's not?
Yeah, now it is. All right, cool. So this is our.
Now she has video.
It was on for a second.
I'm back.
Yeah, there you. So we were talking about you behind your back. So I figured, like, rather than getting in trouble and you finding out we talked about you, I just messaged you on Telegram saying, so now we're not in trouble. So she's the one who we just talked about, who just graduated from the accelerator and is trying to get Veronica into crypto and didn't seem to work.
What? That's not.
It was like, now there's better on ramps. Now it's like there's more better wallets. The way I was teaching her was like, you got to own your keys. You got to do the hard stuff. Screw Coinbase. Like I was trying my best to like responsible key owner.
Oh, I hear Penelope in the back.
But it could be real, huh? It could be better. My sister's tapping. What?
Yes. Where's Penelope?
We haven't slept. We've been working on an EBK, not SDK, not APK, EPK, like electronic press kit. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that.
So Veronica, we're just when we do an introduction. A lot of people don't know. No one knows who you are other than Veronica and I. But
everybody knows America.
America is amazing, but.
She has a cartoon picture of herself.
All right.
I heard someone say.
Veronica
no,
Flint.
not my name.
That's my sister.
All right, guys. So America is one of the most well-known people in VR and crypto in the world. So, and she's the one that's going to be.
What?
It's
I
also
just
So
travel
she's
and
gonna be.
learn.
She just got hired. Her sister is
Travel.
going to do stuff with Google, and she's doing stuff with Microsoft, and they're twins, but only one sister's ever like twins in theory. I haven't seen the other twin, but I know in theory they have a twin out there. You can hear the voice in the background.
It's the shadow twin. There's no bad twin. There's a good twin and a crazy twin.
Split personality, they call it.
And the other twin just pushes me.
It's just like those movies, right? Like Ghost or whatever. You have to watch a couple times, realizing it's just one person, or Fight Club, 2 people, 1 body.
You can have a twin now. You can like video yourself and have your Zoom twin come interrupt you.
Yeah, it's funny. So where are you streaming in from today, America?
No, I'm back home, LA.
We're doing this stand-up comedy. This is open mic, and America showed up on stage to do her open mic for this.
Cool.
Ta-da! Flint!
Oh,
All right.
that's why you're doing that, because it's Flint. Hey everybody, this is
I got my
America.
monkey here. I got monkey
All right.
jokes. You gotta swing.
This is now
Swing
called
by.
the Unity,
Come swing.
the Unity open mic presentations.
Hey Thompson, whenever you're ready, you can start your presentation as well. You can unmute yourself,
Oh, definitely.
and you can share your screen as well. And then Raphael, you'll present next about the Python gaming after Thompson's done.
Which Python? 3, 2.
We'll let Raphael decide. Yeah. So Thompson, you ready? Thompson, are you going to share your screen?
Mic check.
Can't hear
1,
you.
2. Thompson.
All right. We'll give him a second to figure it out. So Raphael, why don't you just go then, since it sounds like you're ready.
Sure. So I don't actually have a presentation.
That's fine. You can just reintroduce yourself again. A short intro for the new people. A lot of people joined who didn't hear your intro at the very beginning.
Raphael.
Hello. So I live in South Florida. I've been here like for 8 years, and I previously used to work.
Someone's presenting.
All right. I guess. Okay. Yeah. We'll go to you. We'll go to you after this. He's figured it out. Hey Thompson, go ahead. You're live now. We see your screen.
Your mic.
Yeah. So Veronica, so you guys, this is you're kind of you're muted right now too, Thompson. You have to unmute yourself. So Veronica and everyone, this is the community project we're making for Magic Leap. So anyone's free to join this project. We do a Discord chat every Tuesday to work on this together. So Thompson, just unmute yourself so we can hear you. Yeah, the thing about being an admin for the chat, for the video call, is I can only mute people, but I can't unmute them. So you just gotta have to figure that. If it's on the bottom, Thompson, actually, if you push your mouse to the bottom, you can see the little microphone little thing.
That's why people are now using Zoom, because you can now draw on someone's screen and say, oh, like that. It's pretty cool. I like Zoom. Have you tried Zoom before?
Zoom has that feature.
Yeah, you can draw on the screen of someone, of what they're presenting, and then that person can see what's going on. Like, oh, okay, I'm like, oh, here. And you can change your backgrounds. You can be in outer space, or a Korean soap opera can be played in the background.
I think she's a wolf.
Thompson, I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You're good. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, the floor is yours, Thompson. Go ahead, Thompson. We heard you earlier. Now you're quiet again. And everyone else, if you guys can mute yourselves.
Okay, so the game I'm planning to do is this. I personally think Magic Leap doesn't have much of a killer app, I would say. So, if anything, I would think this would show what Magic Leap can do. I was thinking a social multiplayer game. Think of it like Clue, but it includes the entire county. It just begins by you entering 20 questions. Once you start your account for the game, it would either be it looks like it would be on your phone, but I plan to have an entire interface for the actual system, Magic Leap. The first question you don't need to fill in because that's the first clue, and that'll be the crime the person committed. It could either be robbery, theft, anything. I mean, for all we know, it could be because you're a kid, for all we know. As you can see here, it would be the first thing. The first thing answered for sure. To show what type of crime you committed, you can change this later. And the rest you can just easily fill in, like, who's your pet, where were you born, something like that. And you can go, and you can write more than 20 questions. Like we see here, 21, by just adding another one over here. Just typing your name. I mean, it could be anything. But we know you could be named after an infamous criminal in this game. I don't even know who you are IRL until they actually find you. After that, you're in. And first thing, once you get logged in, you have to find out who the culprit you are assigned to is. Because, like I said, you only know what crime you committed. You don't know anything else. You know all the questions, but you don't know what the answers to those are. So, you would have to go outside to do your investigations on who this criminal is. And I was thinking the controls for this game would be kind of what you see in They Live. Just pull down your goggles if you see anything peculiar, and bang. Well, you get to see an entire different world from that. And you get to know who would be a detective and probably know a culprit. You don't know where the culprits are. You don't know who the culprits even are. They are hidden in plain sight. So you have to ask everyone and hope you don't get eliminated. Just talk to them, and if you know some of the clues, just answer it. Just fill them in. It might either be right or wrong, which here I was originally thinking that it could either say you're correct or incorrect on a specific question, but I could change that for all we know. And if you actually know who the culprit might be, just type his name. Just hope you're right on this. Because if you type the wrong name, you could be eliminated for falsely accusing someone. I was thinking the actual person could be the culprit, but the condition to actually arresting him would be the actual system. As you would see in the following over, well, second. In the following over here, therefore means, and once you arrest him, I see here the headset might be in this box. It's like I said, it's not the actual person. It could actually be the headset. And we have to verify if this person's guilty for this particular crime or if he's innocent. And if you're the guy who killed him in the first place, that point goes to you. Just don't arrest someone who you know is actually an actual detective. Else you're just eliminated first thing out of the gate. And you can also play as the criminals as well. Because at the beginning of each week, you gotta be a detective or a criminal. And as the criminal, you have to, well, run from anyone. Eliminate them if need be. Either by shooting, stabbing, or playing a bomb. As you can see here. However, as the criminal, you could get stabbed in the back by your fellow conspirators. Because, like I said, there are numerous culprits. The goal is not doing them every single detective. The goal is to be the last one standing. And I defeat this bomb, and... One second. Just don't get caught, will you? Just survive. Meanwhile, as for the detectives, you're trying to arrest as much culprits as possible, or accuse as much culprits as possible, get them all right. And that's the end of the case, or the end of the case, quote unquote. The next morning, you can either be the detective or the criminal. It is random chance. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, if you guys can unmute yourself, and Thompson, after this, can you show the last community game that we did last fall and how we made that, so people have an understanding if they want to join this game, what the responsibility expectations are.
Oh, definitely.
So you guys, yeah, you just gotta mute yourself if you have questions.
I got a question. So do I get, let's say I get, I select to be a criminal. Do I get a special skill set opposed to be a detective?
Well, you don't choose to be the criminal. It's, like I said, random chance. And yes, you get 4 separate tools compared to the criminal, compared to the detectives. Because, like I said, you have, for the criminal, you have a knife, gun, bomb, and the remote. Pretty much, you got pretty much all the things you have just in case you are encountered by a detective, and you have to eliminate him. As for the detective, you have all the means to stun them and handcuffs to actually arrest them. I also have ideas for some separate tools, like for the detective, you have the notebook, of course, to answer all the questions. And as for the criminal, he has an entire list, an answer sheet of all the detectives and criminals who are either still in the game or arrested.
Great. Any other comments or questions for Thompson on this project? Thompson, why don't you share on your screen? I'm going to give you the link about the release schedule for this game. I mean, we might postpone this, but I'm going to post it in the put on your screen, Thompson. Basically, we were going to take an in-person visit to Magic Leap. We called the raid on Magic Leap HQ, just like the raid on Area 51 type thing. And then show like their community projects to Magic Leap themselves at a presentation, but I'm not sure how that's going to work now. But basically, anyone who has a community project, right? It's not just this game for Magic Leap. Any other community project would do kind of a show and tell, kind of a conference game jam type thing, but showing what we made, just like we did last fall. We made a game over 3 months and showed it at our statewide game conference that we hosted at University of Miami. So yeah, if you share that URL, you guys have the URL, but you can put it on your screen too, Thompson. And America, there is a crypto project there as well. We're doing a crypto messaging app.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Are you gonna put it on your screen, Thompson? It's in the chat box.
1 second.
Sure.
I'm trying to change the screen.
No problem. I can just present. That's fine. I'll just.
There you are. As you hear, you would.
All right, guys. So I'm
link and you'll see all this.
That's fine. Yeah. So basically, you guys see my screen, right? The raid on Magic Leap HQ.
Yes, we can see it.
I can see it.
All right, great. So basically, if you guys want to join a project or you have an idea for a project, basically we do these kind of like 3-month long sprints or games or whatever you call it, but spend 3 months making a community game and then release it all together at a large conference that we host or a large whatever we're doing. So this one, we were going to visit Magic Leap HQ. Right now I put it as a virtual on Discord, but we'll still do something. Maybe they'll appear on Discord. I'm not sure if they want us at their headquarters right now when everything's on lockdown and people getting laid off. But anyway, so what happens is it would give you a link here. Who's doing it? Like I put project lead Thompson here for this is the one Synapse Detective in Hiding. So we probably should have read this off first as an intro, but this is the one he just showed you the storyboard for. In this AR social game in development, you are a detective or a convict trying to get to the bottom of a crime scene by interviewing other players to find out who really pulled off the crime or eliminate as many detectives as possible. The only way to see who's a detective is by donning your headset to see the crime world. A lot of low poly, low pixel models to contrast with the real world. May the most effective detective win, or may the least, or may the last convict stand, and then project lead Thompson. So basically, the model is what we did successfully last fall, the inaugural project. So the inaugural FGDA community project, Pong 3D, from September to December 2019, was a resounding success. The project won first place at the Florida Statewide Indie Dev Cup competition at the, I thought we won second, I guess, first competition at the University of Miami in December. There was first place, and there was different categories, so it was a soft first place. Second overall, though. FGDA community projects from January to June are the ones below. So, so Thompson, you can share your screen now and just show the Pong game, the one we did last fall together as a model of what we're doing now.
Example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's have a load. 1 second.
So the people who did this game, they all had day jobs working at Ultimate Software, other places, and they all like super passionate about learning Unity, and realized the best way to learn is by doing and teaching each other. So there's no one on this project that knew what they were doing at the beginning, right? They were just super passionate. Some people are like wanted to make a game their whole lives, never really got started. They might have read a book or an article here, but never really. Some of you even like you're getting certifications, but sometimes getting a certification, you still don't know how to make a game in the real world. So it was a very much a passion project for everyone. But you could tell they had a lot of passion because they won second place in the whole state of Florida from knowing nothing about game design, Unity. They learned it all from scratch as a team, as friends, met on Discord, voice chat every Tuesday.
I wish I had found this group a lot earlier.
Cool. Well, you're here now. It's great. The best way to get involved is actually, be involved, right? These meetups are just the tip of the iceberg, right? We talk about stuff, but we do a lot of stuff every week, actually working on stuff together and making games and projects, not just talking about them in meetups. So like I was telling Veronica, having a PowerPoint is just not the point. The point is actually be hands-on, actually make stuff. So a lot of times we have presenters who don't even have PowerPoint, but PowerPoint's always nice. I'm glad she did it. Yeah. So Thompson, are you ready? Oh, it's still loading.
Yes, 1 second. Yeah.
That's fine. While it's loaded, it's not going to be a while. Raphael, why don't you just introduce the game you want to make with as a community?
Hello, everyone. So I have several ideas. I was talking to Praveen on Monday. He gave me like a one-on-one discussion on blockchain and how I could integrate that on a video game maybe.
Because he actually came to our other meetup, our blockchain meetup. So we were talking about blockchain. So I wasn't trying to push blockchain on someone on it as a new religion type thing. But go ahead.
So like I probably said, I'm on a learning curve right now. I'm a beginner or trying to get myself reacquainted with programming languages. In this instance, Python 3. My goal is to have like 2 video games, actually 1, but 2 video games. One is more oriented to the networking certifications, maybe like practicing binary math and hexadecimal math.
So the interesting thing is when he originally came to the meetup and stuff, he's been at Verizon as a network engineer for 13 years now, and he wants to learn Python for his own job. So I suggested different ways to learn Python, right? Because he came to a blockchain meetup, not a gaming meetup. Mm-hmm. But then he himself suggested well, maybe I can just make a game. We didn't even put that suggestion. I'm like, oh yeah, we have another gamer meetup, right? That's how that happened. So
right. Now for the second one, Brian mentioned that it was more like a scavenger hunt. That still like an idea. Maybe I can use the phones, Android specifically, since it's open source, or it's easier to get open source content than dealing with Apple, I think. Maybe using the phones, the QR scanners on that is, the apps are everywhere. So maybe use that as part of the game. That will require for me to learn also how to program the phones to come up with the video game at that level. So starting, on the beginner level, I think the binary and hexadecimal math, I can put that together, let's say between 2 to 4 months. And I don't think it'll take me that long, but those, just to give you a timeline. And for the learning how to program an actual phone, that will take me, I don't know, I want to say 3 months maybe to get just comfortable to start doing the motions of perhaps creating a project. I really
Sure.
know creating a project on the software level, so I'm not sure. Any suggestions will be appreciated.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. If you have any ideas for him, now's the time. But the only thing is, he wants to make it in Python to learn Python. So Python gaming.
Right.
So just unmute yourself if you have something to comment, something to add.
It's Suyash. What I'm still not clear what he's trying to make and what he's trying to learn. Mention many technologies there.
So I'm trying to learn Python, and the best way I can do it, like make it fun, is to actually make a video game out of it, the learning experience. So I think the scavenger hunt game on a phone will be more ambitious project that I think is achievable. Python, the advantage is that it's portable. So if I can perhaps do the code on for Android phone, most likely, let's say I have a Samsung model, it will work on other models like Motorola's. That's kind of the mindset that I have.
So I'm gonna share my screen again, and then I'll just show some on the screen some of the demos that we've done recently. Paul and I did a Magic Leap meetup in Las Vegas for CES, so I'll show you some of the things we did. So maybe you can help visualize some of the things that you're explaining, but obviously this isn't exactly what he's talking about, but it sounds like it's similar. So let me show you some things we've done recently, this year and last year also at our Unity at the Andrews gamer conference. So this is a meetup we did in Paul and I did in Vegas or CES, the Magic Leap developer meetup. So we did do the QR code little thing going around this one gallery in Las Vegas. And this gallery, the manager, that girl there, she actually is from Miami Beach. She moved out for this new job there. So we met her and she gave us like access to this space because we're from Florida too. So anyways, let me play it.
Show you a little bit of gallery that I hope you're gonna visit on Monday or Tuesday. And let me show you one thing that I'm sure you're gonna be very interested.
So America, all this stuff's done with crypto as well. It's actually a crypto thing.
And then you can just open it on a web page and you have all the necessary.
That's Optimus Prime right there, or Megatron, I think. And there's Optimus Prime. It's all recycled steel shipping containers. There's Predator.
Is this like the Basil Festival, or what's this? What's this museum? Predator.
Yeah, so the reason why, like, obviously because she gave us free space being from Miami Beach, but also they were the first art gallery in Las Vegas or California that accepted cryptocurrency payments. So we felt like they would be open to doing an art scavenger hunt using crypto. And Kevin Winston from Digital LA actually helped us on this meetup as well.
Kevin Winston's the bomb.
Yeah. So that's one idea, Raphael. One thing. Oh, this is Rod.
There he is.
Yeah, Yeah,
think
this is
that's him. Oh wait, that's you,
no,
Praveen,
that's
isn't
me.
it?
Yeah. So basically,
It's the red glasses, man. Sometimes.
this is the Nreal device, the low cost consumer device at CES. Paul and I visited. I'm not gonna play all these videos now. Like we'll do it maybe at the end. People still around, and then this is a thing we did with Magic Leap and Ultra Haptics. We drove a car or did the pseudo driving a car. Oh, this is your friend. Gave a shout out to you, America, at the and he's one of our EOS Miami programmers.
Yeah, the hackathon is the last hackathon, last in-person hackathon.
Yeah. All right, I'll just show you this, guys. This is fun. It's a thing we did earlier this year.
Is that an art piece?
Yeah, we made a talk with AI. So Raphael, take a look at this. We can do this in Python
Talking
too.
AI puppet, what's up?
We attending the 2020 Miami Bitcoin Hackathon.
See, I'm not crazy. I am talking with the painting.
We know that we have cookie when we do this. Nom 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 nom. That's
The Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
You know, it would be so cool for the kids to talk with their paintings.
Wait,
Yeah.
It's like finger painting.
Hi. We Cookie Monster. We attending the 2020 Miami Bitcoin Hackathon.
Go wash your feet.
It sounds like a speak and spell.
We have cookie.
I feel like I'm talking to what's the name of that thing? The Clipper?
Yeah, so Raphael, one of the things you mentioned was being able to learn like things like hashing and other things too. So maybe like, and also since it is a community project, right? We need to be able to get artists involved, people who aren't programmers. So I think like adding Python, like making their pictures talk, other things too. We can showcase the programming, but also give opportunities for artists. Yeah, artists to work on the project with you.
Who was that?
And this is our so this is our art scavenger hunt. We did this for the Ready Hacker 1 challenge, actually, America. So this is Hazel, one of the artists we have for our blockchain meetup. But here, this is her art scavenger hunt we launched at the Andrews Gamer Conference last summer.
Perfect game in Pac-Man. So he's on his way. So whatever you feel about him, give him a warm welcome because he's nice enough to come. So we'll introduce him. So he's on his way. So our first guest is Miss Hazel Griffith, and she's going to talk about her brand new awesome game.
Thank you. So yeah, I'd like to introduce our new game concept, Art Hero, which is tokenizing artwork in the real world and creating like a treasure hunt out of it. So you can open the app and find if there's any art to find in your area, and you'll track it via GPS. And once you find it, it will create 2 unique tokens. One will go to the artist and one will go to you. So you can then keep those tokens, you can swap them for other assets, and you can also keep the artwork itself. So we have like a little test version of the app at our booth, and that's also an opportunity to win Telos tokens. So you can all stop by and play the game and hopefully win some tokens tonight. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. So yeah, Raphael. So it just gives you I don't want to like tell you what to do, but because basically whoever comes up with the idea and has the passion for it, they're the ones who are like the driving force. So whatever you do, it just has to make sense and really important to you, because people might come and go the project, but the person who's leading the project is the one that can't quit. Basically, you're letting your team down. But generally, and you basically also want to get your friends involved as well who are interested in learning. So.
Absolutely, thank you. And I was looking at the chats. Thank you for the suggestion about using Udemy as a library to develop the video games in Python, that is.
Oh yeah, from Rod. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, so Rod, if you want to be involved in the project, that's what this is, right? It's no experience required. In fact, less experience that we have, the better, because then we can actually be creative. And also all the projects that the videos we showed, they're all open as well. So like the last video we show with Hazel, I know there's a lot of opportunity to work on different games. In fact, you can combine some of these ideas as well. Rather than having 5 different projects, we can combine some of these projects as well. But in the end, whatever you guys volunteer for, it's a project that hopefully will be fun, but it's a learning experience for all of us, and not just learning to program, but learning to do your art, learning how to actually release a real world game, how to market it at the end, and we're doing it together as a community. So, America, so what did you think of the art scavenger hunt game for that Hazel was doing?
I didn't really see the demo. I saw her talking. I was like wondering how the video looked like, but I understood she was in the museum, and I don't know if that was related to that talk earlier.
So
When she
the
was running. Was that a
the demo was something that
different
I had.
lady?
Yeah, the demo is something I just made using other software as a quick demo to show people at the conference. The actual game itself is unrelated to the demo. But yeah, anyways, the demo was awesome. People couldn't put it down, but it wasn't exactly what she wanted. So, but the demo was a demo, right? It's just a little bit canned. We just had a very basic gameplay, but I always like just showing something in person rather than talking about it. But yeah, those demo videos are all over Twitter as well. It's Art Hero on Twitter handles, a lot of videos there. But
No, for me.
But if you guys want to join that
What really
project,
piqued
though,
my
that project
interest-
actually has a grant already. They won across basically using the demos I made and things. But so there's actually real Telos tokens you guys can use to develop it. So they won the Ready Hacker 1 challenge, but they never accepted the grant yet. So it's available to them.
So I have a question about the Python project. So is this to develop, a game using Python but on mobile devices?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. So I haven't worked with Python and I haven't really done much mobile development. But what I thought would be interesting, or what I thought you could possibly do using a combination of Unity for people who have the skills using Unity, is to do like a lot of the graphics and art assets and probably some sort of controller that you could build as a WebGL project and then use Python on the back end to control that. It's a possibility.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that. I have been watching some videos and it looks like Python actually works on the back end of the actual video game or web application. So on my back of my mind, I was thinking using the frame in regards of the actual logic, maybe in Python. Looks like there's a lot on the web development side. Looks like there was a lot of JavaScript happening. Not sure if that's similar to what it is used in the phones, but most people use web browsers and Facebook, and looks like in a way they're kind of married together if I'm to develop some sort of game for the phones.
I think though, I mean, it's a good suggestion, Joe, but just to keep Raphael on track, about why he wanted to do this so that, he doesn't lose interest later as well, is, the point was to make a game in Python. So if we use Python as glue code for Unity, then he's learning Unity, and I think he wanted to learn Python.
Okay, good point.
But I mean, so obviously, Raphael, it's your game, so you could do what you want with it, and we'll just support you.
Well, actually, I wrote down Joe's suggestion. I mean, this is actually the planning phase. So any feedback will be much appreciated.
Yeah, and obviously if you do Unity, you'll have a lot more, probably more volunteers as well, because we are a Unity user group. So, I mean, with Python, there's plenty of, obviously there's Python meetups here in South Florida. We're all friends, so we can definitely get programmers from the Python meetups who want to learn game design. So we'll get volunteers later. We're just figuring out where to get them from. And obviously, this is global now. We'll rope America and Veronica into some of these things. They think they're here just to hang out, but
I just want to say, America's making me hungry.
Okay.
If you need some tortillas or there you go. Bon appetit.
Yeah. So basically, really what the next steps then is, Thompson, if you want to talk now about how we run these community projects, how we ran the Pong, for example, and what's actually expected and what's actual logistics on a weekly basis or whenever people can show up, like how we actually run these virtual meetups.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like what people are signing up for if they do
we
volunteer.
do this Tuesday. Okay, so you sign up on Discord. That'll be in the link. Somewhere here. Let me just update that. So that could be at the very bottom of the board.
So do you want us to log on to Discord or are you going to share your screen? Can you just share the Discord?
Well,
I don't know.
it's preferable if you
Share what you're seeing on Discord right
join
now.
our Discord.
Yeah, if you share your screen,
Right,
we can see what you're seeing on Discord right now. Yeah, great.
This for our previous project.
Yeah, as we can see, it says
So pretty much
archive
we start-
archive on it. Before it just said Pong project, and once the game was done, we put archive in front of it for the channel.
Like I said, and pretty much we would have a meeting every single Tuesday on our Discord. It would be in this channel, and we would just show our progress there. Especially if you would see over here in our previous project over here. We'll just head further up. For example, I'm showing a few of our assets for certain. Anything you guys want me to tell you about?
So how do these what's the actual logistics? How do you actually do a virtual meetup on Tuesdays? Like what are the roles what do people actually have to do, or what are they volunteering for? Like doing art, music, or how do you assign work?
You're having sound design or some of the music for the game, probably no. I mean, marketing. if any of you are marketers.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out a little bit. So just to paraphrase, so basically you can kind of do what you want, but basically your interest will try to be like funneled into something that will actually be useful for the game. So whether it's like he's talking about marketing, but also game, sound design, game design, writing, art, obviously everything that can go into a game will find a role for you. And basically normally they meet on Tuesday nights, but obviously that can change since we're all under lockdown. Days kind of don't matter anymore. But you meet on a Discord voice chat, and you share screenshots in the Discord while you guys are typing. And there's always question about why don't you do a Zoom call, right? A video call. And there's different reasons why they like. I would do a video call, but the group didn't want to do it. It's their project. It's not my project. It has to be a community run thing, ground up. So it's that. And then periodically, if they're able to, they meet in person as well at a library or some conference room, so they can, not often, but once in a while they meet in person. But they definitely meet every Tuesday, once a week on voice chat, and they work on the stuff on their own as well. And it worked out pretty well, actually, partially because everyone was super excited, super motivated, and they had a definitive goal in hand, and they had a good team together. People that actually liked each other. They didn't know each other ahead of time, but they learned to really become friends.
Yeah, for example, I didn't know who these guys were, and then I just worked with them, and they loved me for sure. Especially some of the assets.
Yep. And then from that, it's a lot of opportunities. People learn to work together on other ways as well. So it's a good networking opportunity. So yeah, Raphael, just the next step would be to join the Discord, and we'll create a channel for you. I think maybe we could come up with a cool name. We can have a starter name, but a cool name for what it wants to be, so people can. It's always about physically. It's one thing to come to the meetup and say, yeah, but when people actually join the Discord and find the channel, sub-channel, then it becomes real all of a sudden. So I actually want people to take positive action.
I should just create a text channel for him. Project Python.
Well, yeah. Why don't you let Raphael come up with the name, so it's actually his baby.
Oh, don't worry.
Or do you have a name a starter name already in mind, Raphael, for this?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, I guess Project Python then. It's fun.
We can change it later, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. So Thompson, why don't you exchange information with Raphael, and we'll onboard him onto creating a new community project. And then basically once we create the starter Discord sub channel, the next step is we'll do a meetup specifically for the game. So let me show you the meetup we did for Thompson's Detective and Hiding game. And that meetup is just for people who just want to join your game or learn more about the game. We'll have the basic intros, but you basically would be the main speaker talking about the game itself. So this is how we did Thompson's game to introduce to the community, to get volunteers. Here it is here. So Thompson, why don't you just put this on the screen here? I'll put it in the chat too, so you guys can look at it on your own as well.
Oh, definitely. Well,
but if you can put it on the screen. Oh, you're not sharing anymore? All right, I'll share. It's fine.
Yep, I saw it.
All right. You got it, Thompson?
Oh.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, great. So basically, once you have a storyboard or an idea of what you want to make, because it can't just be brainstorming as a group. That's something you do on the side. But when we do a meetup, it's more of a set point, right? Something that's more structured. So when we do a meetup like this, it's not just the Tuesday night Discords can be, yeah, you guys can be brainstorming, but then once you have something solid, then we'll do a meetup like this to introduce it to the general Florida Game Developer Association community and get people to actually be involved. Part of it is perception too, because no one wants to join something that's like a little bit chaotic. So, even though it really is probably chaotic, but it's a chaotic in a fun way. But in the end, you know, it's very structured chaos. So, anyways, yeah, that's what it is. All right, guys. So we'll just open up now. If you guys have anything to share, your art, your game, your everything you made. If you just want to show us your favorite game, whatever, we'll just open up the last hour now. Open forum. Anyone's got anything to share? I think Andrew was gonna. He's already logged off though, but Andrew was gonna play some video games. I think, but try that out. But if you guys want to share something. Or V or America. We haven't seen any of your stuff, so you guys are brand new.
My Unity, so I haven't opened the Chimerica Era Unity project in like over a year. So like all the stuff since then has just been like constant different Unity versions and editors and like me to dig up. However, maybe I could show you what I'm working on next. It's an AR game.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, sure, go for it.
Yeah, because Andrew's already logged off, so you know, we have an hour right now.
No. Okay. I might have to dip out and.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's worries. I mean, part of it was just we were just gonna play video games actually. So literally, no
Play
structure
video
now.
games? How you guys play video games in the meetup? Like you bring a console or something, or?
Whatever you can, whatever way you can show a screen, doesn't have to be. We haven't done this before per se. We were gonna try it out for the first time tonight. We're gonna kind of do a Twitch style type thing.
Oh, I never Twitch ever unless.
Yeah.
I want to soon. Okay, who's showing something? Should I go?
Yeah, you can share your screen. Yeah, you can share your screen.
Sure. It's it might be loading. I'm just now opening it up now, so it might take.
Yeah,
a while.
we're still seeing Thompson's screen right now. You have to take over the screen from him.
I also just get rid of this. All right, the floor's all open for you.
Okay. My Unity is opening up, so maybe I can. I wonder if I can share. Hold on, I'm still setting up. It's still loading. I'm gonna see if I can share it from my iPad. Do you know if iOS shares screens? Then maybe I can share an AR from my screen, but a live demo.
Yeah, whatever works for you, it's fun. So guys, while she's setting up, maybe Rod, all of us, Joe, we can share some opportunities for the community since this is recorded. A lot of people watch this afterwards, so I'll start. So we do have a few projects going on with some of America's friends actually. We're creating a Unity plugin and also an Unreal plugin for blockchain, for different blockchains out there. So we actually have a budget for that. So if anyone wants to work on a Unity plugin or a Unreal Engine plugin for blockchain, we're working on that. And then it's something that's so a plugin is a lot of you know, it's programming. There's no real art involved. Although we could create like a demo game to showcase it as well. So let me show you a demo of what I'm talking about, what the end result would be.
Sorry. I want to do it from the iPad. Why is it doing that? Okay, I'm gonna turn it down. Sorry. Start broadcast. Okay.
Okay, there's your. No, excellent. Yeah, we can see your screen. That's fine.
You can see like the apps and stuff.
Yeah, we can see your screen and your iPad. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right. So this is a secret project that I'm in development with the publisher right now. So, exclusive.
Do you want me to turn the recording off?
Yeah, go ahead and turn off the recording.
All right. Once you hit stop, then. So before I don't think I can really restart it, or it'll be. I'm not sure. I haven't tried that. So if anyone else has anything to say, we'll do Veronica's things last then before I turn the recording off. America, do you have something to present or talk about? Like publicly about maybe some of the things you did at the do you want to show your VR demo, America, on that you just did in Unity for the crypto accelerator in San Francisco?
Yeah, we'll just give you a tour of my room while we're waiting.
No, we're still seeing your oh yeah, it's cool. Yeah, cool. Oh, is this where the magic happens?
Maybe. Yeah. It's not, it doesn't run as fast on the screen share, so apologize for that. Has it already stopped recording on Google Hangouts?
No, we're still recording. I'm gonna wait for America if she wants to show her her VR Unity project that she made for the blockchain accelerator.
I don't know. America. Your microphone's off, America. Turn it on.
No, she's not muted, but I can't hear her though. Yeah. I wonder if it's because you're presenting right now.
Can you just type, America, can you just type in if you wanted to share your thingy?
So I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
So I hear you talking about blockchain, and you'll have to pardon my ignorance because usually when I hear that, I think of cryptocurrency. But how is that all fit together with the VR and Unity and whatnot?
So let's let America talk about that. She just made one for a crypto a startup accelerator in San Francisco. So she might have stepped away from her monitor. Yeah. So basically, I'll answer it then. So basically, like blockchain gaming is a concept now, where it's there she is. Are you there, America?
Wait, is it on?
Yeah, it's on now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were gonna. So Veronica's gonna go last because what she's gonna show can't be recorded. So I'm gonna turn the recording off when she goes. But before we turn off the recording, do you want to show the demo of the Unity VR blockchain demo you made for your accelerator recently?
Yeah. My sis made a video how to use it. Sis sent me the video. Wait, what just happened?
Veronica stopped sharing her screen, so you can
Oh,
share now.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it disconnected, and I was talking to myself.
See, you could take over the screen now. She gave up the screen share.
I don't know how to use. This.
Yeah. So basically, if you put your mouse towards the bottom, you'll be a little thing that says "Present Now" on the bottom right. If you scroll your mouse down.
I just see a black screen. Wait,
you're not presenting yet. Yeah.
Where'd you guys go?
I think if you hover down, you'll see. Oh, it might just be your screen.
Still shows. I'm just black.
Okay, you might have to like minimize and re-enable your web browser. Sometimes it's just buggy.
Oh no!
It happens to me too. Like I'll just like minimize my browser and then reopen it, or open up a new tab. Somehow it fixes it itself.
What's going on? Okay.
All right. All right, I think she's gonna join the meeting again. So Joe, just to answer your question, blockchain gaming and VR and all those things too. We do a lot of that at the other meetup with Raphael, but since you asked, so blockchain gaming is a concept of making a new type of game design using a lot of immutable aspects of blockchain. So it's not just like just adding blockchain, just adding a new feature. We want to actually make a new type of game design, new type of game that isn't available without blockchain too. So some of those concepts are probably a little off topic now. I don't want to go too far into it, but so basically you asked about AR, for example, too. One of the things about, IoT is the concept of digital twins. So when Magic Leap was trying to get into blockchain, they call it the Magic Verse, or at least the original version of Magic Verse, where they changed the terminology, was they wanted to make AR basically visualizing what the IoT actually had, basically. So making like the augmented reality actually like visualize something that had real world value, basically. So if you have a digital twin IoT, you're just visualizing data in midair in AR, right? But if they actually had some immutability, some crypto behind it, then whatever you're seeing actually has like monetary value as well, or physical value. So you're not just seeing like a false hologram that just another sort of like art piece per se. You actually have something that actually represents something, possibly a real world thing that's verified by blockchain. That's one thing. There's a lot more that goes into it. Yeah, you're back, America. You're muted though. No, you're fine, but I see the mute button, so you just unmute yourself. Yeah, there you
Okay.
are. Cool.
I
Yeah,
muted myself twice. Okay.
that's cool. So
Yeah,
now
so
you can share your screen now too if you want to do that.
okay. La la la, Penelope. Yeah, so the reason why I wanted to make blockchain games is because, well, especially in VR, is because I see a lot of people buying quests, all this other stuff, and you're feeding into this ecosystem of, you already gave them like maybe 10 years of your life already, and you haven't really seen you come out of that. So I'd rather build something the next 10 years that actually builds value. They should really be paying you to play their games at this point. It's really, really nonsense. Hey sis, where'd you leave the video? Over here. Okay. Oh, sis. Where's the video? Okay, let me grab it. So I just take over the screen. I can't hear you, Praveen. Okay.
Yeah. You're fine. So basically, on the bottom, if you hover your mouse over the bottom, on the bottom right, it should say "Present Now."
Okay. Hover at the bottom.
Or wherever it is on your screen. If you're using a web browser, for me, it's on the bottom, and then a little pop-up comes up, and then I can have a button to present now. It's just
Present
the admin.
now.
Yeah.
My
Just
screen or a window?
it's up to you. I do window, but it's up to you.
Sure.
Your screen
Whatever.
will just be your entire desktop. We'll see everything you're seeing then.
Did it not like it? Wait, did it not choose? Just screen one. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we see it now.
Yo, I see my screen. Am I really presenting to everybody? Because I don't even see my presentation.
Yeah. No, we see it. Yeah, no.
Okay.
We
I
see
just
it.
feel like
for
I'm
you.
talking to the void.
No, yeah, we see it. We're seeing it fine. So can you introduce? So Joe had a question while you're offline about why blockchain and why VR. And since you're doing a VR blockchain demo, you can probably explain it better.
Okay. So I was going. My sister and I, we both got accepted to an accelerator program in Silicon Valley. And yeah, everybody's like worried about COVID. So all of a sudden, the class turned virtual 2 weeks in, and I thought for sure they were going to cancel it. And it was really hard to talk with the other classmates on what to work on. They wanted to work on apps, but I was more interested in combine something that's growing really fast because of what's going on with COVID-19, as well as can people earn money in a way? And to me, there's a lot of the way I look at it is like I have a lot of friends that are in the game industry, VR industry, AR industry, and I just keep thinking all that time they put in, there's a lot of it being solved right now by the tokenomics of blockchain. Yeah, it sounds like some people, they think it's a scam, but the way I look at it is, Facebook is scamming you of your data, not paying you. A lot of countries are now waking up to be able to monetize from that data. So the way is like there's no excuse anymore to not be able to build better tokenomics for your games. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna let this speak. Do you guys see this?
Yes.
Can you increase the volume though on your computer?
Okay, cool.
It was a little bit low, yeah.
Wait, raise it or increase it?
Yeah. And raise the volume on your computer. And we heard it, but it was very soft. Or you might just have to increase the volume on your headset.
Okay. How much?
Yeah. I mean, we can barely hear it, but you can just tell us what's happening. It's fine as well.
Yeah, so basically I had to give a PowerPoint because a lot of them, they weren't very familiar with the VR industry. It was like very interesting to see people from the crypto side not being very interested. I mean, not being very informed about what VR is, and then seeing people from the VR industry looking at crypto. What is this? So I think there really is. How would you say it? A lot of interest from these two groups now to build blockchain games in VR now, and they were really excited.
What's there in the landscape, blockchain VR wise? There's voxels, so we're just coming out with a mesh of a lot of things that like all of them to make it more better game.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard of Bitcoin Blast, but she's like one of my favorite founders in the space. She basically was able to monetize her app, and every day you play her game, she gives you Bitcoin back. And I thought, so I shared it with my mom and dad. They're obsessed with Candy Crush, so they play this game all the time, and they're building up more and more. So it's just just those little habits, those casual games. It makes such a difference.
As you can see here, we have our roadmap.
I need to update that roadmap. Microsoft's really bugging me. But this is gonna be. We've been able to get it working slightly with the Lightning wallet. I don't know if you guys heard of Lightning. So Lightning is like a second layer blockchain network to help increase the speed of Bitcoin transactions. Right now, Bitcoin transactions can take up to 6 hours yesterday, I think it was. I feel sorry for my buddy.
So have you tried Wax on any of your games?
No, because this is Unreal. This is in C#. And EOS is in C++. Not sure how to integrate JavaScript with Unity because a lot of tutorials I keep finding don't seem to work with it. But if you know, I mean, I'm still going through all the Unity free tutorials right now. I'm so grateful that they made it free for, I guess now the next month and a half.
Yeah, you guys definitely take advantage of that. During this lockdown, Unity is making all their courses available for free, even the live ones, live instructor-led ones that have them several times a week. So definitely sign up for that. Unity.
Yeah, so like if
Learn
you're trying
Premium.
like the beginning courses, you know, it's gonna be like showing you 2018. So just be aware when you're doing the more advanced courses, 2019, they don't mix very well the two projects. So just be mindful.
Cool. So can you show us some of the game?
Yeah, it stopped. Ah. Sorry, sis. I'm sorry. She's yelling at me. She said it makes me a workhorse. Okay. Yeah, so thank you, Praveen, for like
can
letting
you
us
maximize
use this
this?
last screen. Wait up. I'm trying to talk. It's okay, bro. Oh, I haven't slept for a day. Okay. So like to have a splash screen for Unity, you have to have a Unity Pro license. Like, can you believe that? Like, just to be able to like make your game look more legit. But thanks, Praveen, for letting us use it for our demo. So my sister and I were like learning how to do the start menu, and then how do you can't start the game without paying Bitcoin first. And I was able to use this ZBD. They have a pretty cool Unity SDK. Yeah, they gave me some Bitcoin for debugging their SDK. So if you want to learn Unity at the same time, learn how to debug, I definitely would recommend going to the Discord channel and see what's up. But it's not only just for VR, but it's also you can use it for, you know, regular games. TDD. Yeah, that music's copyrighted, but we were just showing an example of how to. I really wanted to use this API called Emanate. I don't know if you guys heard of them, but they're like music on the blockchain. They pay you in real-time royalties. So I really think there is a big a big chance for even people like that DJ, people that are making music, they can help grow this industry, have their jingles, and they get paid in real time every time the game is played. I know Emanate right now they're focusing more on artists, but I really think there's a lot of growth to be made. I mean, musicians right now are trying to like, how can I drop my song in the game? Like, did you guys see Kid Cudi? Oh, was it Kid Cudi? Kid Cudi? Who was at the Fortnite?
Travis Scott.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but who was the one that dropped the song? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to talk like this. Talk like I'm tired. But yeah, so we have two modes for the game. One is toxic mode, which is you can only play it if you play with Bitcoin, but you get paid back in Bitcoin the longer you play with it. And the other mode is DeFi mode. So the way that Bitcoin Blast makes their dough, if you have a chance to play the game, is they do the revenue share, and then they give you the revenue share not in dollars but in Bitcoin. So we want to be like the Bitcoin Blast, but in VR. And I thought and everybody can see. You have a real leaderboard, like you'll be able to track who's like winning the most in in the game. So I think that's really awesome. Sorry, I was all over the map, but yeah, thanks guys.
So this is Beat Saber? What is the game?
So yeah, it's a lot of people they like a Beat Saber. So I was trying to show that it's very easy to integrate blockchain technology with a VR game. And you can actually earn at the same time. So you have the revenue share, and then you are able to pay your users back in whichever cryptocurrency you would like. But for right now, it's Lightning, Bitcoin over the Lightning Network.
So you're paying the players to play?
Yeah, it's a rev share model. Tax wise, it's probably not very smart. That's where Puerto Rico comes in. But let's just leave it at that.
Let's go. So, what did you use from Unity point perspective to make this?
Oh, they had a Unity SDK, ZBD. You just have to modify basically a paywall for the game. And we had to make sure that any income that was coming in, it was going towards, let's say, a user's certain amount of time. It's just still a work in development. I guess right after the program finished, I got kind of burned out, so I took a breather for two weeks, and then I had to spend this week sprinting on how to build a media press kit. But it's gonna be pretty good. It just takes time and effort. I know last time I was touching Unity was, I think it was like the boys AR glasses, just shooting aliens in the air. So I was more into audible games.
So I normally don't like correct people's pronunciations, but my dad's first name is Bose as well, so it's Bose.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's not him. It's just like,
Yeah, my friend's from
shout out to
Boston.
my
They always
dad who's at
correct
work
me,
right
and
now.
she works for Bose. She works for Bose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't pronounce. Hey man, I live with a Latino family. Nobody, we don't know Bose.
Yeah, so Bose is actually was an MIT professor for a long time. He passed away, but his kids are actually also now MIT professors.
What I liked about the presentation at the MIT Reality Hackathon was they invited one of the executives of Bose. I don't know. Shut up, Penelope. They invited one of the executives out to a hike, and they were able to have the audio listen to a certain point in a direction. I'm like, wow, you can use that for eavesdropping or something. But they were just trying to listen for deer so they can hunt better. And I was just blown away by the augmented intelligence of wearables. I mean, really, what we're looking at is all wearables, virtual reality.
Yeah, so Thompson, you should look into
glasses.
that for the detective and hiding, right? Instead of hunting deer, so you can be hunting
Clues.
Yeah, the clues in hiding in your living room.
It's like it will be whispering, like, "Hey, it's on."
Yeah.
Oh,
so Pedram actually has a headset. Pedram, who has a robot dog that we use all the time with Magic Leap. He's got a Bose AR headset, and they're pretty inexpensive compared to everything else. They're like, I think $200 or something like that. Not like 2,000. But
yeah, my mom grabs my glasses. She keeps misplacing hers.
That's
I
pretty
think I
cool.
see twins. Do you have another web Oh, dude, that freaked me out. Okay.
Ooh.
Hi. Praveen was. See, there's another twin again.
What?
There's 2 webcams somewhere. One's lagging like 5 seconds or something, or he's just still image.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna stop hijacking the call. But thank you, Praveen.
Yeah, great. So so the thing about America is she's been. Oh yeah, Veronica was on twice. That's why you saw the twin. So she went to MIT Reality Hack, and obviously she
was supposed
really
to spend
participated,
my
and she's
birthday
been to a
with
lot
my
of these.
twin.
Yeah. So a lot of these Magic Leap dev evangelists, unfortunately, some of them got laid off. But I noticed in their retrospective
you're-
things they enjoyed the most about working at Magic Leap were things that like somehow things that America went to, like MIT Reality Hack, for example. So she made a difference here in our user group without realizing it as well. So guys, yeah, we're gonna so anything if anyone has something to record or say on camera, like we're not gonna end the meetup now, but I'm gonna end the recording soon so that Veronica can present the things, her new projects she doesn't want on camera. So does anyone have anything else to be recorded on video before I end the recording?
Is anyone like interested in like building a VR game? I really like that video. It was like a very viral video.
I
Someone
would be
on a
interested.
tread bike. I think it was a tread bike, or what do you call it? I don't use the thing, but my mom does. And I thought it was really cool that they made a game of them on a bicycle, and I think they were carrying dogs, and they were racing against other people. But I thought that would be really cool if your other friend is on that bicycle machine and another is on a bicycle machine. You guys could like play and race against each other. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's like what's old is new
I'll be
again.
on that.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
actually used to be a big thing at gyms back in the 80s and 90s where people would have the linked up like bicycles like that, but they have the screen in front of them. And I used to play this one tank game actually, and then at some point, like I think the manufacturer went out of business. Something happened where, yeah, the games the bicycles are still in the gyms, but no one knew how to fix them, so they weren't connected anymore. So you're kind of like playing a tank battle against just a computer, not against people against you. And and then how gyms are, right? There's a lot of employee turnover. Like people didn't even realize that they could be linked together because they never were since they worked there. So, and then eventually the things just broke, they never were replaced. So yeah, it'd be all brand new again, as no one's seen it before, even though just like VR is always brand new every like 10 years, right? People forget it was around before. So yeah, that'd be great. Kind of, and now everyone's into Peloton, right? People understand it's this thing, but we can actually make it as a game rather than just cycling this in the nature. So Thompson, you were going to say something?
Pelota.
Oh no, I said I
Pelota.
was saying that would be in.
Did you say ball
there,
in Spanish?
What?
Peloton. Okay. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah, I think the treadmill you're talking about, we had one also at it was being borrowed by Neuton. The perception neuron people that Veronica was using. And actually one of your friends, I'm not sure if you know Justin, his last name is Justin Lee. He's a big social media guy in LA. Then he moved to San Francisco or something, but he was into crypto. But he came and we actually put him onto this the Uni treadmill. You can walk in all directions in VR. So Gasper from Ghost VR put him in that in the Neuton offices in Wynwood. But yeah, so that'd be cool to work on that project with you guys, America.
My sister's making me do it. Wait up, sis. Just wait up. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so if anyone's got anything to present now on video, you can do it now. Otherwise, I'm gonna turn the recording off, and Veronica can do her last presentation.
Let's do it. Turn it off.
All right, guys. Let me turn it off here.
Okay, so you kick us out?
No, just gonna stop recording. All right,
okay.
your at-home audience, thanks for joining us. We're gonna continue the meetup now off camera, so we can talk about all the secret stuff now.
Okay.